Alright, g'day IB Psychology students. If you've done your internal assessment and you're working on that and you need to conduct the Mann Whitney U test, in this video I'm going to show you step by step how to use an online calculator and do everything you need to do to get top marks in your inferential statistics piece of your IA. Right, so let's look at how to do the Mann Whitney U test using the online calculator. First of all, let's make sure that the Mann Whitney U test is the right test for you. You need to make sure that you have unrelated data. So what this means is you've used an independent samples. You haven't used a repeated measures or a matched pairs. So if you have unrelated data and your data is at least ordinal, these are the two things that you need to do, that you need to have for your data in order to do the Mann Whitney U test. I would also include just a one-sentence explanation for why you chose the Mann Whitney U test in your final report. So for example, you can say we chose a Mann Whitney U test because we had unrelated data and our data was at least ordinal. What does at least ordinal mean? Well, I'll make another video where I explain that in more detail, but put simply, it means that your data can be ordered from highest to lowest. So there are 4 levels of data. There's nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. You don't need to decide if you have ordinal, interval, or ratio. You just need to make sure your data is not nominal. Nominal data is just, it can be grouped by categories. For example, if you ask people what was their favorite color, if some people said, how many people said red, green, blue, well, I can't rank those scores in order from highest to lowest. If the Loftus and Palmer car crash study, did you see broken glass? Yes or no? Now the yes or no answer, I can't rank yes. No, I can't rank everyone's answer from highest to lowest. But what was your speed estimate? I can rank that from the lowest to the highest. How many points did you get on a memory test? I can rank that score from lowest to highest. So my data is at least ordinal. They're the two things you need to do a Mann Whitney U test. So what you'll need to include in your final report, first of all, you'll just need to state that we're setting the probability value at 0.05, or other words, 5%. And what this means is you're testing to see, is there less than a 5% chance that you would have gotten these results if your null hypothesis was true. You also need the p-value. Now the p-value is different to the probability value. They're often confused, but the p-value is going to be calculated based on your results. And that is just, it's going to be a value somewhere between 0.00 and 1.0. So we're going to have a look at an example of that in a second. The critical value, and this is the critical value, will be based on your group sizes. So you have independent samples, so you should be doing 2 groups. So in A, so this will be sample 1. So maybe you had 10 participants in this group and 11 in this group, and the U value. And a statement of significance. So is your data significant? Is it not significant? And do you retain or do you reject the null hypothesis? Right, so the first thing you're going to need in order to do the Mann Whitney U test is you're going to need your data. Now, for the IB Psychology IA, you'll need to put your raw data in your appendices, not in the body of your report. And also, it's best to do the inferential statistics after you've done your descriptive statistics. So with my example experiment I've done here, I've used the mean and the standard deviation. So these are my participants, these are their scores. This is condition 1, and this is condition 2. Just for a little bit of context, I did an experiment where I hypothesized that watching a trailer for a movie like Baywatch is going to have a decrease in body satisfaction. And then my control condition was they watched the trailer for a movie called Grown Ups. So the data that I'm interested in is, this is the before and after. This was my dependent variable, the change in their body satisfaction before and after viewing the clip. And then this is my second set of data here. So I recommend putting all your data in a nice neat table like this, so it's ready to go in your appendices before you conduct the Mann Whitney U test, and then I can easily copy and paste my data over into the online calculator. So get your raw data table ready first. Right, after you have your raw data, it's now time to find the online calculator. Now, there's lots of different versions out there and lots of different choices. I personally really like this one, and I'll put a link in the description for this calculator. So I'm going to head over here to calculators, and I'm going to scroll down, and there's loads here, and I'm going to find my Mann Whitney U test calculator. You can see I've already used it. And here I can just double check whether or not I've got all the requirements for a Mann Whitney U test. I'm comfortable that I do, so I'm going to hit the calculator. Now I've just got 2 boxes here to input my data. Now you can have your partner read it out and you can type it in manually, but actually you can simply just copy and paste your data into these tables. So I'm going to just copy my scores into sample 1 and copy my scores in sample 2. Now I have checked, it doesn't make a difference if I have these plus signs just to distinguish them from the negative, and I double check this with or without the pluses. Doesn't actually make a difference to the final score. Of course it would if you took away the negatives, because that's -7 is different to +7. Alright, so I have my data inputted into my table. Now I just want to check my significance level, so make sure it's 0.05. I'm not testing it at 0.1. Now, one-tailed or two-tailed hypotheses. There's a lot of debate regarding this. For IB psychology, what you should do, if you have a directional hypothesis, you should go one-tailed. A directional hypothesis means you're hypothesizing that your treatment is going to either increase or decrease the dependent variable. So in my case, I hypothesized that watching the Baywatch video was going to decrease body satisfaction. So that would be a one-tailed. I know that I'm predicting a directional effect. A two-tailed would be if I thought it would have an effect, but I didn't know if it was going to increase or decrease. I wasn't too sure. I would say a vast majority, in fact, I can't think off the top of my head any two-tailed hypotheses I've had in my experience doing IAs. Maybe, but a vast majority are one-tailed. But still, double check with yourself. Are you predicting that your treatment is going to increase, or is it going to decrease, or are you not sure? If you know the direction, it's one-tailed. If you're not sure, if you just know it's going to have an effect, it's two-tailed. Of course, some people argue that you should do two-tailed regardless, but in IB psychology, that's bad advice, because you may get marked down if you're doing a two-tailed test for a directional hypothesis. So now I know that I've got one-tailed, 0.5, my data is in here. I simply hit Calculate U. Alright, now I've calculated my test. I can scroll down here and I see my results. So my U value is 46. We're not going to worry about our Z scores, right? But I can see here my P value is 0.39. What does this P value mean, first of all? That means there's a 39% chance I could have gotten my results even if the null hypothesis was true. So my null hypothesis was that there was no effect. So I could get a 40% chance of getting these results even if there's not an effect. Well, that's, I mean, that suggests, right, pretty strongly that that there isn't an actual effect happening here. This is why my results are not significant. So my U value is 46, and the critical value is 27. Now, in order for the Mann Whitney U test to be significant, for the results to be significant, my U value, remember I'm doing a Mann Whitney U test, the U value must be equal to or less than the critical value. Now here my my U value is more than my critical value. So that's why my results are not significant at this probability. And I would suggest and strongly encourage including a statement like that in your final report, right? So you're stating what your U value is and how your U value in relation to the critical value determines whether or not your results are significant. If you simply said my U value is 46, the critical value is 27, therefore my results are not significant, I don't think that's enough. I don't think that fully shows that you understand the significance and the importance of relating the U value to the critical value. Now, I just want to take a moment to show you how we find out the critical value for a Mann Whitney U test. And we use data tables. So let me just bring up one of those so I can show you what they are. Alright, I found this online, and it's quite hard to get a good statistical table. You can use a book. I've got a good book that I recommend, Learning to Use Statistical Tests in Psychology, or you can find this online. I'll put a link to this in my blog post that I'm going to write, and I'll put the blog post link in the description when it's ready, which will outline how to do the Mann Whitney U test as well. And we can see here are all the data tables. So I'm looking for a Mann Whitney U test, one-tailed for probability 0.5. Right, this is my data table from Mann Whitney U test at 0.05, right, or two-tailed at 0.1, but I'm looking at one-tailed 0.5. Now, how I find my critical value, and I do encourage that you do this because it does just give you a better understanding of the critical value in relation to the U value. So remember, in order for the results to be significant, my U value needs to be equal to or less than my critical value. So here, this is my group size, not my sample size, because I'm doing independent samples. So I'm going to have two different groups. So if in my sample, I had 10 participants in one group, and I had 10 participants in the other. So if I go to 10, and then I scroll down 10, right, so my critical value is 27. And so this is what I would use to determine if my results were significant or not. Now, if you have 9 and 9, right, then I go down here and your critical value is going to be 21. So here we have it. This is how we use the data tables for finding out our critical value and then we can relate that to the U value. Alright, so let's go back and have a look at what I need to include in the report now that I've done the test. I'm not going to show you an example summary because I don't want students just to copy what I've written and insert their own data. So in my report, I would say, I would first of all say I'm doing the Mann Whitney U test and why, because my data was at least ordinal and that I had unrelated data. And I'm setting my probability value at 0.05, and I would mention that my p-value, which was 0.39 or 39%, my critical value, which was 27, and that was based on my group sizes, right? So my sample was N10 and N10 because both of my groups had 10 participants. My U value, which was, what was my U value? 46, and my statement of significance. And so that's where I would say my critical value, which was 47, was greater than my U value of 27, so therefore my results are not significant. And then I would retain or reject them. So in that case, my results were not significant, so I would retain the null hypothesis. Now, just to note, one thing to really remember, you have to take a screenshot of your online calculations and put them in your appendices in your IA. If you don't do that, you can't get top marks. One reason for doing that is because sometimes there might be there's a difference in which calculator you use in how your results will be shown, and so it's really important that you show your online calculations in your appendices. Let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so here I am over at VasaStats. Now this is the other really common calculator that people like to use. Personally, I don't like it. I prefer the SocialSciStatistics.com. If we scroll down, what I've done is I've literally just copy and pasted the exact same data, and thankfully we get the same result. So my critical value is 27. You can see I think this is just a little bit messy. I don't like it as much. But my level of significance for a directional test, remember that's a one-tailed hypothesis, 0.5. My lower, it's giving me two limits here, and this is why it's really important that you you screenshot your calculations and put them in your appendices, because how you write up your report might be different depending on if you are using VasaStats or the Mann Whitney U test calculator, or if you're using this upper-lower limit or just a critical value. Okay, so here it's saying that my observed value of UA is 50. So my U value here is 50, which was 46 in the other calculator, which is quite interesting. Again, this is why it's really important that you include this in your appendices. And then because that is in between these two values, that's why my results are not significant. So similar to the other one in that it's greater than 27, so my results are not significant. But actually this is saying if this number was more than 73, my results would be significant. And again, so there's just a difference here in tests. And this might be why if you've looked at example IAs, or might be why the report might be a little bit different. But to save all of this, just follow the instructions on the online test and screenshot it. But personally, that's why I like to use this calculator here. Well, I hope you found that video tutorial helpful for the internal assessment. If you did, if you're a teacher, go onto our store and download your free preview of our internal assessment teacher support pack. This has got everything you need for teaching the IA, including a template for a guide that you can use. It's got checklists, it's got the rubrics, it's got example IAs with moderator comments, and everything you need there. Some additional information on inferential statistics, all those tricky bits you'll find. Also got extracts from the textbook to help you. So the link is in the description for, it'll take you straight to the support pack to download your free preview today. All right, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.